Happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to another episode. Actually, a back to back. We had an episode this morning. So, shout out Justin and Ricky for the episode this morning. That was a really good, inspirational one. Now, we're about to do a second one. Let me get Maricris into the room. Really looking forward to this one. There she is.
Hello, how are you?
Doing pretty good. Can't complain. How you doing?
Good. No complaints here, just working away.
Sounds about right.
Trying to
Always
desperate
busy, and I love it.
the coffee. I do not drink coffee, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Try it. Mm-mm.
Well, you drink green tea, right?
Green tea, when it's around. I'm like not one to think of buying tea. I like it, I just don't think about it.
Interesting. All
Yeah.
right,
I don't
noted.
want it's I'm like about the white teeth thing. It just seems like extra effort to brush. Keep it simple. There's enough going on in life right now.
I miss talking to you.
I'm pretty random. You do know that.
Exactly. So I'm gonna introduce you. I'm gonna do a brief intro. I hope I do you justice. I hope I do so. So this is Marika. She's a personal trainer. She's a respite trainer. She does her 28 day challenge worker, which is amazing. One of the most driven, persistent, positive persons that I know, and like she mentioned, one of the most random persons I know, which is amazing. So this is Marika's, everyone.
Hello.
I've been looking forward to this like all day. We've been having some episodes, some great guests on, and talking about health, wellness, talking about personal lives, how people get to where they want to be in life. Their goals, ambitions, things like that. And you are, like I said, one of the most driven, ambitious persons I know. So I was looking forward to this like all day. Really was. So let's dive into it. So how did you get into fitness, or why did you get into fitness?
Yeah. I mean, fitness. If we're like going back, I mean, we can go into like fourth grade where I enrolled myself in after school sports. But I usually credit high school as being the biggest push because I was just fortunate enough to have coaches who invested their time in me. I didn't grow up in an area where you would say like big stars or anything come out of. So, I went and just purely wanted to play sports because I love it. But they saw a different potential in me and kind of showed me what's possible. Um, and really investing your time, in volleyball and track. And after that, I thought I wanted to be an athletic trainer. So everything just became very fitness focused and driven. And I would say after I got my master's degree, there was just like a point where I was like, I can't sit at a desk yet. By this time, having played college sports and with the push on social media, I'm posting stuff that I just genuinely enjoy. But people started to reach out, ask about fitness tips, and I'm like, I don't know fitness tips. This is just stuff I enjoy. So it kind of planted the seed that maybe there's something for me as a trainer. And coming from sports, I went into fitness modeling. So there's just this very natural progression, and I kind of looked at it as a way that I'd be able to give back, doing what I love. And after my first like mock session, I was like, this is awesome. And I just eventually kind of made that push and decided to go all in on it, and just been really fortunate enough that things have continued to expand, and especially with the help of social media, my world's crossed between my entertainment side and fitness and the need for online trainers. Everything's just beautifully meshing right now in terms of experiences.
Wow, that's amazing. How did you find that blend of, fitness model, being a fitness trainer, and how did you balance that?
I think they both kind of just intertwine with each other, right? So if I'm, on set for Reebok, to me, that's playing. I'm running around or whatever it is. But at the same time, you're like, you got to do good because you're actually a trainer. Like, you gotta watch your form. And then training, it's having, I think, that good client base of people who understand you have other aspirations as well. And the different things that I pursue outside of just training clients one-on-one does make me a better trainer in terms of experience and meeting other trainers and being inspired by them. working with other athletes on set. And I mean, it's just a whole experiencing. And that's why, I'm making this push to travel more and meet with other trainers, to put myself through these other experiences, because my body has gone through breakdowns and burnouts. I've been a corporate
Mm.
worker. I've, been an entrepreneur, all these different levels, and understanding those fluctuations with your fitness routine. And I think it's so important to bring that to, the everyday athlete, as I like to call them, because I think people put this, they can put athletes or, trainers on a pedestal, like they're perfect, they only eat clean, they don't burn out, they know what they're doing, but we're all still very human at the same time. And life gets to us. So to me, I think it's just being open and honest about what's going on with my life, and just understanding the intent about it. If I feel like it's something that's going to benefit me in the future, that's going to help others. Like, you just have to draw it back. Sometimes it's not a clear line, but you can't go wrong with experiences at the end of the day.
That's true. I love that you said that in terms of the human element, because you're right. Like, a lot of people on social media, as far as trainers are concerned, you look at them, it's like, wow, they're like superhuman, right? Like
Oh
they
yeah.
are perfect. But I love that you do that, and your social media platform reflects that. Like how much fun you have doing what you do, how real you are with it, how grounded you are. I feel like it's more genuine. So I love that you said that. That totally makes sense.
Thanks. Yeah, no, it's you have to break down that transparency. Literally, like 2 weeks ago, I had a breakdown. I had to like cry. I was just exhausted, but I have great things going on, but I just push myself sometimes to the limits. And, as you do things, you get stronger in different levels, whether it's personal life, fitness. But at some point, there is a breaking level. It's like a reset, right? There's different
Hmm.
levels to I can understand. And I remember I did a live, and it really was hurting me. I wrote the program, but my body was just not having it. And someone DM'd me, and they're like, "You didn't even look like you sweat." I was like, "No, I was genuinely tired. Like, I really was struggling." And like, "No, you're not." And I'm like, "Nobody believes me." Like, I'm hurting, but that's why every now and then I just kind of have to do those posts, because Instagram is such a highlight reel, and I obviously 99% of my photos are smiling, and I am genuinely happy. And I think it gets misconstrued with people who have maybe spent time with personal development, so maybe they understand the tools to reset. But that doesn't mean we don't go go through stuff. Like, we're still in it. We just understand, like, maybe we need to chill a little bit, whatever. But everybody goes through stuff, and like I said, I just want to keep it real and transparent. So yeah.
I love that. Yeah, we are all human. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. So you mentioned corporate, right? And then you mentioned entrepreneurship. So what gave you the courage and confidence to be an entrepreneur? Like, how did you get into that space, and what gave you the confidence and courage?
So never ever did I think I was gonna call myself an entrepreneur. Just I'm I am completely different than I was, I would say, like 10 years ago. So, you know, I was a great student, and I guess you call it like your quarter life crisis or whatever. When I was done playing volleyball, um, I was like, friends going off to
Did I lose you? You still there, Americas? Let me see if I can get her back real quick. Okay, 1 second, guys. some reason it's not connecting, but I'm gonna try again. All right, I'm gonna refresh the live and then come back on. Hey, what's going on, Mika?
Yeah, we don't know what
There
happened.
she is.
Hi, I don't know what happened there. I was like, I have full 5 bars. I had my friend message you. Like,
I was doing the
what's
same
happening?
thing. I was like, I am full.
I was
It was
like,
getting so good. I was like, oh.
the Lord said I needed a break. Okay, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. I'm gonna talk really, really fast now, just in case. So, sorry about that. Um,
Oh no, you're good. More than good.
let's question. What were you asking me? Oh, the
Yeah, so
jump
you
to
were talking about
entrepreneurship, right?
just exactly, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So, basically, so I was saying when I was in college, just used to going to school, routine, playing sports, and there was a point, like I said, that quarter life, crisis where I was like depressed. I was like, oh my god, like I have to start making my own decisions now. Like, there's no coaches telling me what to do. It's like you want this like for sure success and direction to go, but within that I was trying everything. I was, like a wedding coordinator at one point. I was an executive
Oh
assistant.
wow.
I was modeling because I was always between fitness and sports and bartending at the same time. And there was just like a point where you feel it and you're like, I can't bartend anymore. And they actually had a switch in management where I was losing shifts, even though I was like one of the main bartenders for the longest. And I was like, am I going to complain about that? Or am I going to be like, this is an opportunity to build my own business, and you kind of hit this low where you're like, it can't get lower than this, so I might as well build up from here. And I had clients because I was a new trainer, but at that point I was again just honest and transparent with them, not sure what if I wanted to do. I wasn't making that much money um, at the corporate gym I was at, and they're like, I'd leave with you, right? I was like, what is this, what they call client loyalty? And so I literally started my business with four of my clients there, and based off of my rates I was able to support myself with that, and just used all the resources and like Yelp, whatever, pooling family, and you just start yourself with those rates to get it going, those experiences, and that word of mouth kind of picks up. And at the same time, I think how it even applies now is as an entrepreneur, you kind of have to have this amazing group of team and like people around you who support you and understand the journey, and you have to be really protective about that energy because it's not going to always look like you know what you're doing. It's not. You're gonna feel crazy a little bit, so it's just constant leaps of faith, and I think once you take one, the next one becomes a little bit easier, um, yeah, I mean, it's just really kind of this building muscle. Like my ex and I broke up in Long Beach, and I was like, I just got my business together here, but I was like, in 3 years, I want to move to LA. But we broke up. I was like, in 3 weeks, we're moving to LA. But there's a lot of tears within that. There had to be like a lot of faith, and you have to look with what you have in front of you. You don't know what you don't know, but you go with what you do, and you just keep building on it. And I remember when I finally quit my bartending job, I was like, oh, I am responsible for my money. Where's this money coming from? Like, but now once you kind of like get your feet wet and you feel a little established, it's hard to want to work for anyone else.
Mm.
because you're like, yeah, it gets stressful, it's tiring, but I'd rather be pursuing my dream than anyone else's. If I'm going to work hard anyways, I'd rather have it be on my end for something that I really believe in. So it's just a matter of time. But how I was before, you wouldn't think. And now I'm like a nomad. I don't even know where I'm going to live next month because I'm like, I'll just figure it out. Like, because there's just this trust that as an entrepreneur, you're like, you're going to get it done. Sometimes you don't know how, but you just know, like, you just need it to like settle in. So it's such a weird mix. Yeah.
I love that. There's so much you said that I want to unpack. Like, there are like three different things I want to tackle, but I'm going to tackle this one first. So, you talked about, protecting that energy that's around you. How do you make sure that you have the right people around you, that you have that right energy around you? How do you go about assessing that?
I think it's understanding the type of people around you. So everybody has a different role in your life. And I think one of the struggles I had, like, for example, with my parents, why I would feel defensive or whatever, is just because you have to understand that people don't have the same experiences as you or are as willing to take certain risks. So, when my mom would say, get a job with benefits, I'm like, why don't you think I can make my own money and make my own benefits, right? But I have to look at the fact that she came from the Philippines. So coming here was one step, and those benefits is way better than what they had back home, right? So it's understanding that, and like I said, protecting your energy, understanding that you can't share everything with everyone. Even people who may be good for you initially and help you get to that next step, sometimes your vision's a little bit different from their experiences. So you kind of have to learn what information to take in. But even though everyone might be going the same direction, you're all going to end up there a different way because we all have different backgrounds and experiences that make us unique to the opportunity ahead of us. So I think another thing that I had to learn was just being really quiet about it because, for example, like what I'm building right now, didn't necessarily know how it was going to unfold. And there's just so much of a thought process in different directions it can go. And when people are asking what you're doing and you feel like you have to explain yourself, you sometimes start to doubt yourself because you're like, oh God, I sound crazy. Like, oh God, it sounds like I don't know what I'm doing. So sometimes you just have to learn to sit with it yourself and kind of let it reveal one at a time and understand that people, I think at the end of the day, are trying to protect you. So I think come from that space, but digest it however that you need to.
That totally makes sense. And then,
We got
you
buffalo.
talked about going after
There it
your
is.
dreams and everything, right?
Yeah.
So in line with that, so you have a lot of people who they have a passion, they have a purpose, they have this dream they want to go after, but they don't think they can make money from it, right? Or they won't be able to make money from it, so they don't go after it. What advice would you have for those people?
Sorry, can you
You still
repeat that?
there?
You got the circle on me. So you said going after can you repeat that?
That's
The
what I
circle?
got to. Yeah, definitely. So, I got the circle again. You probably get that on your end too. I'll wait for the circle to stop. Left again. Let me get her back inside. There she is. There she
I'm
is.
about to go live on my friend's. He's over here. He's like, it's your phone. He's like, I'm on the live right now.
I
I'm like,
agree with
oh,
him. I agree with him.
I don't know what's happening. Is it me?
um,
I'm so sad right now. I'm really trying on these streets here.
are you
Is it live
good?
on that?
Are you stable? Are you stable?
Okay, quick, go.
All right, cool. All right. So my question is around
I
like
think
going after
so.
your dreams.
Trying to hear.
Can you
My
hear me
friend's
now?
phone is stable. Wait, can
You want to
anyone
go
on your
live on
phone?
his?
Want to sign into your account on my phone?
I'm trying to use my friend's phone right now. I don't even know my password.
Okay. We can do that. I'm down with that. All right, guys. America's gonna sign in on her friend's phone, so when she gets back on, we'll log in. Apologies for the technical difficulties. It happens, right? Um, internet, social media, it happens, but really good episode. Looking forward to the rest of it. So stay tuned while she resolves some technical difficulties on her end. Hope everyone had a great holiday weekend, getting back into the thick of things in terms of work. If you enjoying the rest of the week off, definitely get some rest. And also be on the lookout for our podcast platform that we're going to project on all different streams, like Spotify, iTunes. So we're going to take the live to that point, where we're going to actually have episodes on a recurring basis. So be on the lookout for that. Really excited about that. Teams real get up for that. We're going to have an amazing platform. So looking forward to that. Let me see if she's back in. All right, so I see her back in the room. Let me invite her.
Fourth time,
There she is.
fourth time's the charm. So now we will be able to vouch for services. What are we working with? Verizon?
Verizon,
We're
right?
trying Verizon. T-Mobile is not looking good.
Hey, tell your friend I said thank you. I appreciate him.
Yes, we. This is why he's here, and that's the good energy right there.
My guy, what's up, bro?
That's why he's going with me on my travels, because this not for me.
This is much more stable. I love it.
Yeah.
But the question I was asking about, you talked about going after your dreams, right? And you talked also about not initially making money, especially after you hit that low, so to speak, when you did your bartending, right? So you're like, where are you
Mhm.
going to get my money from, right? So you have a lot of people who are afraid to pursue their passion, their purpose, because they don't think they'll be able to make money. So they stay in these corporate jobs or whatever setting because it's a safety net, right? What advice would you give to those people who truly want to go after their dreams, but don't think they'll be able to make any money from it or survive?
Well, I think one of the things that you also have to think about, yes, we all need money to pay the bills and whatnot, but especially if you're not willing to take that huge initial leap, don't look at it as making money. You have to, I
Mm,
mean, do it in terms of something that you're passionate about, because I would just say, like for example, what Wavy and I are creating, I went in, I'm like, oh, let me just make it a vlog. Like you kind of have to take this pressure off of yourself, right? That you can only plan out so much. You can only plan what you know. And I think it's important to just start with that first step, especially if it's going to be something that you want to call a side hustle. to begin with. So I think you kind of plant off of that, and then when you're ready to share, you share it with people who you think, again, can support you and have that energy to show you what's possible. Because depending like who you're in, especially if you're a corporate person, typically they're type A personalities, right?
True
Much like
story.
myself. So you're like, how's this going to work? What is the budget? How, this is not going to, what? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Versus, I think a really powerful thing is when you go into the mindset of, well, why do you want to do a fitness travel show? Well, I love to travel. Why do you love to travel? Because I like experiencing new things. Why do you like to experience new things? Because it just makes me a better person and I can understand people. Like, you go through your energies on a whole different level, and you're forgetting about the obstacles. But at the end of the day, you're going to have obstacles in a corporate job, right?
True.
And I think if there's something that 2020 taught us is there's no security in anything. There's not.
I love that.
You make whatever you want stable. You choose how you do it. You choose how much effort you put into everything that you do. You make it as stable as you want to. And you know, the way that I explained it to one of my friends, which is like, oh, I just don't know if I can quit. And I was like, and obviously it's different as an outsider, but you know, I was put in a position where I was losing shifts, right? So I'm like, okay, am I going to beg for shifts for a job I don't even want? Or I'm going to be like, oh, good, I'm blessed with time, so might as well do that. And now it built into this career, right, that I'm more than grateful for. So on the other end, as a corporate person, right, someone who is probably really good at their job and they're scared to lose the money. And I asked the other question, I'm like, okay, you don't want to quit, right? Because you don't want to put on yourself that you're taking this investment in you. But what happens if they fire you? You're going to find another job, are you not? But it comes from a different perspective, like, oh, like, I can't help it. This is a situation I put in. And it's simply a mindset. It's the same situation. You're either fired or you quit. But it puts you in the same predicament at the end of the day. So I'm like, you were going to do it anyways. You like, and especially if you're established enough. And to me, it's like the mindset too. Like when I was in LA, just like real struggle bus when I got here. I was like, I don't know where I'm going to make my next check or whatever. But I'm also pushing to just stay in my field. But at the end of the day, I could be a bartender again. I could Uber. I could like, there's different avenues for everything if you look for it. It might not be the prettiest, but you might be more open to it because it's going towards something that you enjoy. So everything is just perspective at the end of the day. It's perspective.
I totally agree with that. So
Yeah.
the third question I had based on what you said earlier, in line with that last point you made, right? You were a wedding planner, bartender, all these different things. How are you so diverse and able to do these different things? And then how do you, humble yourself and ground yourself to do these different things as well? Like you said, okay, become an Uber driver, because some people be like, well, no, hell no, I'm not going to become an Uber driver. That's beneath me, right? Like some people would say
Yeah.
that. So how do you humble yourself and get to that mindset to see you would do that? And plus, how are you so diverse to be able to do these different things?
Well, one, I was exploring at that time. So it wasn't until I remember being I went on a corporate retreat with my ex. And of course, I'm a nerd. So they're doing activities and I'm sitting there doing, it's not even my activity, but I was like, I want to do these life goals, right? And I remember that moment when his boss was like, oh, that's cool. So you're a model, a bartender, a trainer. And I was like, God, I sound crazy. Like, it sounds like I don't know what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, so like, the bartending experience didn't change, right, from college to then. But my intention behind it had changed, which is why I wasn't enjoying it. So when you're in college, you're like, oh, I'm doing it because I'm in college. This is the best thing I can do to support myself right here. I understood why I was bartending. But then when you're in a new place where you feel like you should be doing something different, you're like, I don't need to be here. It just doesn't feel right. There's no alignment with it. But if you switch your perspective to like, okay, I'm all in on this dream or whatever this next adventure is, like, I love that bartending gives me that flexibility and cash to do what I need to do and give me the time to do something else. I'm not committed to a job where I take home the problems. I go to my shift and end it. So again, you have to understand why you're doing something. Sometimes you have to give yourself a timeline for it and a check back, whatever it is. But I mean, people have so many different careers and shifts and interests, and it's like the same thing applies to fitness. Not one workout routine works always. You have to adjust to whatever it is that you want. And it's natural for you to want to change careers or pursue other things if you're not being fulfilled, because when you experience something new, you're like, sometimes you just want more of that. And it's just scarier, obviously, as you get older, you have a little bit more responsibilities behind it, but nothing is absolutely impossible. So it's just, again, dependent on what you want and just dabbling in it and asking questions.
Mm,
Yeah.
I love that. Well, that was so eloquent. I really love that. I really do. What drives you? What drives Mara Chris to keep going, to keep pursuing her dreams? What drives you?
I really have to, one, I mean, I'm just naturally just I'm like, what can I do? I like to challenge myself. I'm like, what's the next level? But in terms of fitness, it really is when clients get results,
Mm,
or I get messages of people I didn't even know were doing my workout videos, and they're like, oh, I lost 11 pounds, or oh, I feel better. And it's like, I have to do more. Like, it's helping people, and um, it's really just other people, and the fact that this doesn't feel like work. I mean, it gets tiring sometimes. I mean, there's steps to it, but the fact that I'm able to do something that I enjoy and continue to see different ways to expand it on various levels is exciting to me. And the ability to show my parents what else is possible out there, that it's not just training clients, and being able to shift to different avenues is great. Like I'm just like hungry for life and experiences, and you just meet great people, I think, in this industry. And I think just with the direction that health is going, and just debunking things and encouraging people to live healthier because it is a benefit to their total health and wellness is so important.
it definitely is. I always think that's a sweet spot, and I'm a big advocate of that in terms of, doing what you love and helping people at the same time. I'm all about that. Like, I think that's a sweet spot. So I love that you made those 2 points, and then you mentioned, like, making your parents proud. Like my mom. I always think about her. I bathe from the Bahamas and everything, and she's still back home right now. Like, so everything I do, I have in the back of my mind. I want to make her proud. So I love that you said that too. It's
Yes.
pretty cool.
No, it's
Love
always
that.
good to share that with the family for sure.
Definitely love that. So obviously our schedule is busy, rightfully so, and I love that. How do you manage your schedule? How do you manage the business?
Lots of calendars, written calendars, because I can't remember everything. It's a mix. So, for example, like, I'm here with Wavy. We just booked a meeting. We didn't know what we were booking it for. We just knew we had a chat. So a lot of it sometimes, which is really productive. But I think sometimes it's a little hectic right now. But I have to find different ways to push myself sometimes when I get a little tired. So I have to schedule these meetings for accountability, because I know it has to go down. Um, but also, I think at the same time, trying to be better about scheduling fun things and rest breaks. So,
Mm,
with what we have going on, I've just been nonstop. It's been on my mind, our project, for like over a month now. But I was like, I have to go out this weekend and celebrate. And it's a big thing for me to not feel guilty when I step away, because I'm like, people are going to be looking at my stories, but they're like, why isn't she getting work done, or whatever it may be. But that's part of the process of being able to produce content or workouts, whatever it is. I have to have a recharge and a step away from it, because I think one of the biggest things of transitioning from just training clients online to now creating content and writing things is, there's one level of physical exhaustion, but there's also the mental exhaustion of processing things. So I have to find a way to step away from that. And I really just look at my calendar 1 week at a time. I'll schedule things out, but if things start to feel overbearing, I'm very good now about saying no to things, or,
mm.
hey, we will put it on to be determined, but can I confirm before, like a little bit before? I just try to keep it completely transparent with who I'm working with, and prioritize as best as possible.
I love that. Prioritization is key.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. So I love that you said that. That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So I know you clearly have a busy schedule. So I have one more question, but before I get to that question, I just want to
Yeah.
acknowledge you for being, like I said, driven, ambitious, confident, courageous. for going after your dreams, for helping others, for transforming others as well, physically and mentally, for
Thank
being
you.
genuine, real, just straight up honest and transparent, like you just mentioned. So just want to acknowledge you for being an amazing person. So
Appreciate it. Right back at you. I appreciate you, what you do. I mean, you guys do a lot in terms of, really trying to share great content with everybody and helping keep the conversations going. So thankful to be a part of your community as well.
thank you. So last question. So when you envision the best version of Maricris, what does that look like? What does the best version of Maricris look like?
The best, a well-rested Merry Christmas. um, I think for me, it's just this journey of continually just learning to be confident in what I'm doing and what I feel like I have to offer. Because you know how they say, like, what is it, like, your greatest fear is not that you're inadequate, but powerful beyond measure.
Hmm.
As much as I can show up on my social and happy and bright, like, there's still a lot of insecurities that come up along the way as you're trying to do new things that you haven't done before. There's like higher players in the game. So I think the more that I continue to be transparent about my journey and process and what I'm doing, it's only going to be helpful to other people, um, to just be confident, and I don't know when I would ever share it or whatever, but I have, when I go through these lows and like really highs, I always record like a little vlog
Mm.
video, um, because I want to remember this process, because everybody thinks it's a pretty one, but life is not pretty at all, and it's scary and terrifying, and you don't know where the next thing is. So I think if I just can continue to share that and positive energy and as much of a health and wellness journey based on my clients' experiences and my own personal, I just find when you're in this content creation or whatever, and Instagram looks a highlight reel, creating and moving becomes a much easier process when you're thinking about your audience and who you're serving, because it's not about you.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
not. Because if I'm like, oh, what
Mm.
workouts make me look cool? It's like, okay, you're trying to think of the most difficult thing. But when I'm like, oh God, like my clients have tight hips or whatever, and it's like, oh, well, I need to do this and I need to share this food. Like, it's not about you. At the end of the day, like, it's great that we are able to be that person to deliver. But if I just continue to work on myself to be transparent and remember that along the way in my mission, then it's what's going to be better for everybody. So whether it's myself or someone else reaching their high self, it's just honestly being comfortable with you. So I think that's truly what it comes
I
down to,
love that.
and not being scared to share.
I
That's a big thing.
I really love that. One thing stood out for me in terms of, doing it for the audience, like you mentioned, right? You're not focusing on yourself. That resonates with me based on like public speaking. Like when I first started, I was terrified. I didn't like it at all because I thought about me and what people thought about me, but I was like, well, I'm going to be giving value to others or potentially give value to others. That's my focus. That's why I'm doing this. So, yeah, that totally changed my perspective and changed how I was. So I love that you said that. That totally makes sense to me.
Yeah.
500%. Love that.
Yes.
Love that. So before we get out of here, so where can people find you? I know you're on Instagram, YouTube. Where can people find you, and what other things that you have going on right now that you want to let people know about?
Those are the only platforms I can manage right now. That's it. I do have a new website coming soon, but Instagram, and YouTube, that's I'm really making that push to put out these workouts to get everyone going, and just staying tuned for some fun content coming up that's hopefully inspirational to everybody, in terms of workouts and experiences, and getting people excited about life. So it's coming soon, but Instagram, I would say, is the easiest way to know what's happening.
Obviously, we'll definitely
Yeah.
tag you in the description and when we post this as well. And I'll look out for that documentary. You mentioned the vlog as far as, when you're down and everything like that, and you capturing those moments. I want to
Well,
see a documentary. That's what I want
oh,
to see.
well, let me get there. So now I'd be more than happy to share the 30 million tears that only my best friends know that I cried.
Well, I look forward to seeing that. Thank you so much for being here, spending time, and really taking time out of your busy schedule. I know how busy you are. So thank you. And thank your friend too. What's his name again?
That's Wavy. Y'all need some
Wavy.
content shot. What else? He's my
Yeah,
triple
okay.
threat. He's my photographer, videographer, and editor.
Yeah.
And also he provides phones when Wi-Fi goes.
All of the above.
All
I'm
of
here
the
to
above.
make your life easier.
Good, yes. He is
My
what she
guy.
is. Yeah. So he's a
Appreciate
part of
you.
what's coming up. So little tidbit for you. We will be going to Cancun soon to share some stuff with you guys
Ooh.
and be that's all you get. But you'll see on the ground. We are very, very excited about what's coming up. So yeah.
Looking forward to seeing that. Definitely. We will share whatever you provide, and we'll definitely blast that for you as well on our side. So thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you too. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.